that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions, each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions, each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. I was still getting comfortable. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is Friday live, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining at this new time. I think this time works better for everybody. I hate that some people, were counting on the afternoon, but I personally am liking the mornings. Hello, moderators. Good morning, Mike Sanner, Potato, Jammers is here today. We missed you yesterday. Who else do we have? Mike Sandman. There's a press conference, Jason, on the thing. I didn't know there was a press conference this morning.
The good people of Broward County were not necessarily ambivalent toward the carpet joints that people like Meyer, Lansky, Jimmy Blue Eyes Allo, and Potatoes Kaufman were putting up on the outskirts of town.
Potatoes Kaufman? Who's that? Oh my gosh.
So there's a lot of butt joints that we have to cover, and I'm like, Dudley, let's do butt joints.
I don't like doing butt joints alone.
Do them all by myself.
I don't like butt joints or carpet joints. Carpet joints and butt joints? No, thank you. Potatoes Kaufman.
We're putting up on the outskirts of town.
The carpet joints. Potatoes Kaufman and the carpet joints.
Lansky, Jimmy Blue Eyes Allo, and Potatoes Kaufman were putting up on the outskirts of town.
Is there a press conference for the shooter? I'll pass on the carpet joints. You want to do carpet joints together? Because I don't like to do them by myself. Anyways, I guess we will catch up on whatever's going on with the shooter, Jay, later, because we have a packed show for you. We're going to be taking a look back at the Michael Vaughan case, and we're going to be looking at a very important interview. But before we get to that, I do want to recognize that that the victims, 16 of the victims of the Maine mass shooting, have been identified. So I wanted to share that with you guys before we begin and get into the interview that JLR did with Brandon Shurtliff. I'm going to give you guys also a brief update, background on the missing Michael Vaughan case, if you're not familiar with it. So we will do that. Maybe Potato can find someone in chat to do carpet joints with. Yeah, I don't think there's anything new either, Mike. All right, so let's take a look at this from KTLA.
Father, members of a tight-knit community group for the deaf, a father and his 14-year-old son, and a volunteer bowling instructor who shielded children from gunfire are among the victims killed in the senseless rampage. Authorities are not releasing the names of the victims, but their family members have been confirming their deaths.
KTLA's Mary Beth McDade is live in the news center with more on what we know about the victims tonight. Mary Beth.
Mike and Jer, 18 people lost their lives in a matter of minutes at two different locations, a bar and a bowling alley. Well, tonight we're learning more about who these victims are, several of whom tried to stop the shooter from killing others.
My son was a hero.
So sad.
Took a long blade knife and tried to go after the gunman to stop him from shooting anybody else.
Leroy Walker
He's
is
a
talking
hero.
about his son Joseph,
Joseph was the longtime bar manager at Shemengi's Bar and Grill, one of 2 Lewiston locations the shooter carried out his rampage that left 18 dead. 16 have been identified by family and friends.
The gunman shot him and killed him.
Leroy says he's not surprised by his son's actions.
I am proud of him. He was brought up that way. It was always to defend himself and his family, and these people have been his family for a lot of years now, working at Shemengi's.
40-year-old Brian McFarland, Stephen Vozella, and Bill Brackett were also killed at Shemengi's while participating in a cornhole tournament for deaf adults. Peyton Brewer Ross, a pipe fitter and new father, also died while playing cornhole. Josh Sealy, 36-year-old father of 4 and sign language interpreter, will be remembered for always putting his family first.
Wow.
38-year-old Max Hathaway was at the bar playing pool. His wife and toddler had left early when the baby became fussy. And 44-year-old Arthur Strout was also playing pool. He leaves behind 3 children. Ron Morin will be remembered as an upstanding man with a lot of joy in his heart. Prior to the bar, the mass shooter walked into a nearby bowling alley, which was packed with kids and families, and opened fire. His first victim was 76-year-old Bob Violet. Bob had set up a youth bowling league and was in the middle of teaching children when the shooter walked in.
Wow.
53-year-old Tricia Aslan worked at the bowling alley part-time, but that night her brother says she was bowling for fun. She was killed when she ran to the counter to call 911. Michael Deslaries was out for a night of bowling with friends and family. Among them, one of his dearest friends, Jason Walker. They made sure their wives and several children were under cover and then charged the gunman. Tom Conrad, the manager of the bowling alley, also died trying to subdue the shooter. He leaves behind a 9-year-old daughter. Among the others killed, Bill and Aaron Young, a father and 14-year-old son, out together, enjoying a night of bowling. Well, authorities say that there were also 13 other people injured. 3 of them remain in critical condition tonight. For now, reporting live here in News Center.
So freaking sad. I mean, that's absolutely, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? So senseless. I mean, and he couldn't have gotten worse targets. He hit hearing impaired fundraiser. I mean, you don't get any more evil than that, you know? And then the bowling alley, you have this old man who's probably this sweet old grandpa who just wanted to teach the kids how to bowl. And then he bum rushes it. And what? I mean, what? I can only say that I hope this guy's deceased in the woods somewhere by his own hand, because he just needs to be gone. He just needs to be gone. JLR needs an I do today. He is today. I guess he's flying up to Maine. Flying up to Maine. Yeah, he just received hearing aids. I think that I remember my dad getting hearing aids, and I remember that they had to be calibrated and adjusted, and they can make really weird sounds and really high pitched sounds. And if you are already having mental problems, I feel like it exacerbated it or whatever, because I feel like it's not going to make you hear voices, but it could actually. I don't know if you guys have ever had anxiety where sometimes you get that buzzing feeling in your head. Anxiety and panic attacks can come out in people so many different ways. So it just depends on what symptoms come out. But, if you get that head buzzing ever, or the fullness in your ears, I know I used to suffer from panic attacks really bad, to the point where I was basically agoraphobic in a way. I didn't want to go out by myself because I got them all the time. And I feel because when you have bad anxiety and things, yes, Meg, if you rub your head, like there's certain things you can do to kind of calm that down, but loud noises, especially triggering, just like going somewhere and hearing like, all those voices, like a crowd, that can set it off. I mean, there's so many things, and maybe he was interpreting whatever the hearing aids were doing as something else, and it was like a combo of that. Because I thought that was interesting as well. So just to, think about that a little deeper. But I guess we'll get more information when JLR gets up there. We'll be watching him. In the meantime, we are actually going to do a little background. Let me get it up here. We're going to do a little background on Michael Vaughan. Thank you for joining. If you could hit that like button, it is greatly appreciated. Yeah, Meg P. She said stress was a huge trigger. And sometimes you can't even identify it. Mine was, I had my first child. I was 21 years old. I was overwhelmed. I was single. I wasn't yet married. And I was scared. And I wasn't consciously scared. You know what I mean? It was something subconsciously like stressful and scary and different that triggered me. So, everybody has their triggers and how their anxiety comes out. And I hate to judge someone for their symptoms of anxiety, because it really, really is it's a scary feeling if you've never had panic. And if any of you suffer from that, you are not alone. Trust me. I don't have pity for him after, seeing all these victims. No, I don't have pity. That's why I hope he's deceased in the woods somewhere. I mean, not to say he did the right thing doing that, but he kind of is doing the right thing doing that. All right, so you're going to see a slideshow. The man that you see is Brandon Shurtliff, and he is the one that we're going to be listening to today. Yes, it feels like you're not getting any oxygen, or you can't get a deep enough breath. Or you feel like there's, bricks on your chest. That's another bad one. Klonopin works really well, Nightbot. Miss Nightbot. Your husband tries to understand but can't. If you've never had it, it's really hard to understand it because we seem so... you seem like you're exaggerating and you're being like a drama queen when you're anxious, and then when someone doesn't understand or doesn't believe you, it just makes it worse. And if you feel that way, you are not alone. You are not alone. I felt it, and I went from doctor to doctor because I was 21 years old. No one knew what was wrong with me. This was in 1995. And I'm so old. But this was in 1995, and I went from doctor to doctor. One doctor said, you have high or low blood sugar. Change your diet. So I changed my diet. Nothing changes. So then I get more and more worried because I'm doing these things that the doctor's telling me to do, and it's not helping. Then I went to a cardiologist because they had me wear a Holter monitor, and I had irregular heartbeats. So then I'm worried even more that my heart's bad. You're worried that your ticker is going to go. And so then you're worried about that. And then I go to the heart doctor, and he's like, you don't really have anything wrong with you. You have a mitral valve prolapse. And I'm like, okay. So they put me on medication for that. Didn't fully help. It was just like one thing after another. And the more you have someone tell you, this is what it is, and then it doesn't change, it's really scary. But now there's so much, like, you can talk about it so much more, and there's so much more, treatments and awareness than there was then. All right, so let's talk about missing Michael Vaughan. Missing Michael Vaughan. All right, so Michael Vaughan was last seen in July of 2021, July 27th, 2021. He went missing from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho, which is not far from Coeur d'Alene, Tyler Vaughan, which is Brandy's husband, his mother is Brandy, was at home with her children. So I guess he's not the dad of any of the children. Michael was on the couch playing with his Nintendo Switch. Tyler went to check on Michael's little sister, who they call Buggy, in her bedroom. So he's Monkey. His little sister is Buggy. Cute. It's cute. Vaughn ordered a pizza and then came back out to the living room, and Michael was gone. So Tyler called Brandy, who was at work. And I don't know if they're even married, to be honest with you, because she's Brandy Neal. So I don't know if they're married. I shouldn't speak out of turn. But anyways, his mother was at work. She sped home and saw police at the park when she pulled into the neighborhood. She said that the neighbors witnessed Michael in their front yard and on the street moments before he disappeared, even attempting to talk to neighbors. He was friendly, she said, but it was unusual. So his mom said he has wandered a few times, but it doesn't make sense. That night and the week ahead, searches ensued. The community began paving their way on foot through the farm fields, looking through the streets, in bushes, storm drains, checking trash cans under tables, in park bathrooms, anywhere little Michael could possibly hide. He was last seen wearing a blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue underwear, and blue flip-flops. He was 5 years old at the time of his disappearance. So the following agencies have been involved in the search for little Michael: the Fruitland Police, the National Guard, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, and other multiple agencies have been brought into this rural area to look for little Michael. It was originally believed that Michael wandered off, but in November of 2021, the police chief, J.D. Huff of Fruitland, said during a press conference that there was an increased probability Michael was abducted. And this was because they made little leeway in their ground searches. They didn't find anything. His mother said that they brought in canine dogs, which traced Michael's scent to the end of the road. And if you want to see more of this in detail on maps and stuff, I do have a playlist on this case. So the entire family was called in for a polygraph test, according to Michael's mother, and the police kept them all separated. Police showed the family a timeline of Michael's disappearance, which Brandy said she couldn't even believe they were able to put together. Right after the family took polygraphs, a large semi-truck was revealed with Michael's face on it to drive across the U.S. to generate tips. And this is when the Idaho State Police and the FBI eventually became involved. It's just been a mess, to be honest. It has been press conference after press conference with all this hope. So they haven't put out much information, but J.D. Huff continues to say that it's an open investigation and releasing additional information could compromise the case. But then something broke in the summer of 2022. They dropped a small piece of information that they were back in Fruitland investigating Michael's disappearance. And then in November, they had a potential lead. Possible break in the case. So they told Brandy an arrest had been made. They told her to stay inside and hunker down. This is all according to the Idaho Press. Police told her they received a credible tip that Michael's remains could be in a backyard nearby. And they told her they were going to excavate every single inch. The chief later told reporters that they continue to search for Michael's remains, marking the very first time that the media learned he may no longer be alive. The place they dug up was a 2-minute drive from the family home, diagonal across the farm field that was searched so many times. And this was the home of Sarah and Stacy Wondra. They tore the couple's backyard apart. Multiple law enforcement agencies surrounded the home, and this is the address, 1102. Can't make it up. At 1102 Red Wing Street, with shovels, human remain dogs, and heavy machinery. The dirt was piled into a large truck, or it was driven off-site for evaluation. Poor Michael's mom sat out in the street for hours, watching the truck go by with dirt and come back without it, and then leave again. She wanted so badly to go over to the excavation site, but she stopped herself. Sarah Wondra, 35 years old, was arrested on November 11th, 2022, my birthday, and charged with failure to report a death. Huff, which is the police chief, previously said their investigation found Sarah Wondra had knowledge of Michael's death and didn't say anything to law enforcement about it. So Stacy Wondra, that's a guy, it's her husband, has not been charged in connection with the disappearance of Michael, but he is in the Washington County Jail on firearm charges because he was already on probo. These people are criminals. Bad. They're criminals. The credible tip that they got came from another person who lived inside the Wondra's home. So Michael's mom said she's never seen or met the Wondras, but when they were searching for Michael, she left flyers at their door. And Sarah Wondra was later seen on TikTok videos in October of 2021 in front of Michael's missing person flyer, which was hanging on the refrigerator door behind her. It's just like Richard Allen. He was sitting in that bar and he had the flyer with the curly hair young guy behind him. Same shit. Hers was on her refrigerator. Oh, man. So days went by and the crews stopped the excavating. Police said they planned on searching inside the home after they were done digging. And then we have an update on December 1st of 2022 where they announced the press conference announcing the excavation. And it came out that Michael's remains were not found in the yard. But he said something else that made listening ears perk up. The police believe Michael's remains were buried there, but later moved. And unexpectedly, police announced the identities of 2 more people. Brandon Shurtliff, who we're going to hear from in a minute, 30, believed to be living somewhere in North Dakota, and Adrian Lucian, 32, believed to be either in California or Toledo, Ohio. Shurtliff and Lucian were living in the Wondra's home at the time of little Michael's disappearance. And the chief said their window of time for cooperation is coming to a close, whatever that means. Brandon Shurtliff, the one we're going to hear from right now, has a warrant for his arrest in Canyon County, but the charges do not allow for extradition from North Dakota. And Adrian Lucian has a lengthy criminal record in multiple states. Chief Huff announced that their department made contact with the 2 men, but did not elaborate further. But he also said he believes they aren't the only people who have knowledge to what could have happened to Michael. All of those that have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued, said Huff. More than a month later, on January 26th of this year, Fruitland police provided a slight update on their Facebook page. They wrote, police recovered several pieces of evidence at the Wondra home. Some of those pieces have been sent to a private DNA lab for further analysis. So Sarah Wondra, the female in this situation, was found mentally unfit last year. She was committed to a state hospital on December 6th of last year. But then they ended up dropping all of her charges. So where is Shurtliff? Shurtliff is going to be the tone for today. Because JLR's interview, the dude's in a hot tub. Yeah. So according to his mother, who spoke to the Idaho Press, her name is Tina Morale. He's in North Dakota, and she knows his location. She told KTVB that her son is not running and has nothing to hide. She said, we have all been cooperating, but this has outright turned into total harassment of Brandon and our family. It used to be innocent until proven guilty. Now it's guilty without proof. Yeah. They are even pointing fingers at me and telling me I'm lying and hiding something. Morale claims she opened her home up to police when they came knocking. Now, this is important because they went to Brandon's home and searched it. Well, his mother's home. Now, listen to this. She says, his mom says, I gave them food and water, prayed with them, and allowed them to run their dogs and people through my house and yard. They did find my toilet was leaking, which I'm grateful for. She claims that their cadaver dog, quote, smelled poop outside near her vent and crawl space, which was near her leaking toilet. So they consulted, the Idaho Press consulted with canine experts on that matter. And they said, no, cadaver dogs do not alert on human feces. And they also said they've never heard of a canine dog being trained to find feces. Try again, Tina. Try again.
I don't know.
It wasn't human poop. If those dogs picked up on something at this woman's house, they were looking for Michael's scent. So then the canine expert went on to say each dog has a very specific reaction that it does when it does what it's trained to do. The untrained human may not know or recognize when a dog alerts its handler. So this Tina may not have even known what an alert was. She's probably like, oh, it barked. It barked. It smelled the poop. There were 17 cars, dogs, and shovels. And they dug where the dog alluded to the following day. They found nothing but my leaking toilet, she said. Which, if they found anything, it's going to be under wraps. She also said, we have cooperated fully since this all began. Our attorney will probably be calling a press conference for all this slander. KTVB asked her why her son has not come back to Idaho. And she said, his attorney is handling it. I know my son's heart. He loves kids, animals, the elderly. He has such a tender heart. He's always giving all he has. He would give his last morsel of food or his only shirt. He just always seems to choose the wrong type of people to be friends with. Oh, typical mother in denial.
You know Don's full of shit.
Denial. Tina, you're in denial. He just continually picks the wrong friends. What? Oh, man. Okay, so the chief said he couldn't elaborate on the mother's comments due to the nature of the investigation. When KTVB went to her house, she didn't answer the door. And police said in December they had searched the home without a warrant, but did not elaborate. Law enforcement does not need a warrant if the homeowner lets them inside willingly. So pretty much the missing person, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, stated that this case is different. So I don't know what they mean by that. They didn't elaborate. They just said that they are supporting the family and that they are there for them and anything that they need. So basically, that is our update. This summer in July, they did say that they had turned over an arrest affidavit to the prosecutor's office for charges in this case, but that was like back in July. Yeah, so I think they're thinking that they moved his body. I don't know if like they did find signs in the Wandra's yard or if they're just saying that to like get them to talk. But it seems like they definitely alerted on something there in Brandon Shurtliff's house. So Brandon Shurtliff, Stacy Wondra, Sarah Wondra, and this Adrian Lucian all lived in the Wondra house near Michael when he went missing. So now we're going to get into the interview with Brandon Shurtliff. He agreed for some reason to speak to JLR, which is awesome. He's also changed his looks over the years. So we're going to get into this interview because it is very, very telling. And that's allegedly his daughter right there. That is allegedly his daughter. Yeah. So we're going to learn more about what they were doing there. Teresa says, "What? How can all these people stay quiet?" Well, I think that because they're criminals and they're doing criminal things together. So instead of doing butt joints together or carpet joints, they're doing criminal acts together. And they're all up to their eyeballs in it. So they all lie. They're all a bunch of liars. They really are. That's all I can say.
She said, "We came home, we planted flowers on the side of the house."
And let me know your theories. If you're replaying this, especially, put your theories on this case in the comment section. I really want to know what you guys are thinking could have possibly happened, especially after we watch this interview. So let's get into it. And this was 11 months ago, by the way. Brandon Shurtliff was with Stacy Wondra and Sarah Wondra the day that Michael Vaughan went missing in Fruitland, Idaho.
Okay, now, thank you for talking to me. Thank you. I respect that, considering that I, put a video out on you, sharing what's going on. But as you know, I never said you were a suspect. I just said that you were there in the mix. So this is very important because a lot of people are following the Michael Vaughan case, and people just want answers. People want Michael found. They want insight on the Wanderers. They want to know everything. So, can you just explain what's going on here?
What's that?
Can you explain what's going on? Like what happened? What went down? What's up?
Yeah, the people that I used to stay with sometimes on the weekend and drive taxi for or whatever, they're involved in some big shit about. They're saying they know more about the Michael Vaughan case and everything like that. And I heard that they're saying that they actually killed him themselves.
Now, who said that?
I think the detectives told me that that's what Stacy and Sarah said themselves, is that they did it or they were involved in it or they know who did.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. It starts out explosive. Explosive. And after he says that, he's about to take a guzzle from his beer. But, yeah. So it's interesting to note that the investigators, allegedly coming from him, the investigators told him that the Wondras confessed. That the Wondras confessed.
Interesting. Do you know any names or other these people? Who are they?
One of the people that went to their house before was Tanner Butler. I just looked at my Facebook page now, and his name's Tanner Butler. He was staying there with me and Stacy and Sarah at the time. Like all four of us were roommates.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
And then I guess the whole thing on how this started was the fact that Sarah, like, kind of threatened him or, like, told him, get out of my house and don't come here no more because you were drinking. And I don't want you to be a bad influence on my poor little husband, Stacy, blah, blah, blah.
So,
So,
yeah. And that was the incident earlier this year, April, around the beginning of April, right? They got arrested?
correct.
Who got arrested?
Sarah did. Sarah Wandra. And then Stacy. Okay, so Stacy got arrested first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Sarah got arrested not long after.
So if you're looking at the screen on the left-hand side in the 4 photos, and they say they think 4 people are involved. You have Stacy and Sarah on the left, and then you have Brandon and this Adrian on the right.
And that was all over guns. It was all over a .17 caliber, some kind of a little gun they had.
Yeah, I saw the reports, and I saw that I read the indictment of Stacy, and he was trying to sell a gun. I think it's the gun you just described, to a gun shop out in New Plymouth.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So, but you're saying Sarah got in a fight with this Tanner guy around the same time in her house?
Right after he went to give that gun to somebody else, then that is when he went and tried to sell the gun to that gunsmith guy. And then right after that, Sarah was arrested for threatening that other roommate kid with a Glock or a gun or some shit that they weren't even supposed to have.
So it was all over Tanner drinking in the house?
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that because I've observed posts from Sarah, that she would make in her taxi group. She had a group called Faith Taxi, right? And she would make posts saying, I am not going to pick up anyone and deliver them to buy drugs or alcohol. I forbid that. I don't do drugs and alcohol. I don't want to be around drugs and alcohol. Something in that sense.
Yes, sir.
So, maybe, she's just didn't want alcohol in the house. How long was Tanner staying there for?
He was staying there for I'd say we had a relationship for 2 or 3 months off and on where he...
A relationship? What is he talking about? And then we're supposed to believe that Stacy Wandra, who's threatening people with a fucking Glock, is this holy roller who doesn't want alcohol and drugs in her taxi service. We're going to hear more about the Wandra's taxi service called Faith Taxi. This dude worked for Faith Taxi. Yeah, a relationship. Was he his boyfriend? I'm not liking this at all already.
That she would make in her taxi group. She had a group called Faith Taxi, right? And she would make posts saying, I am not going to pick up anyone and deliver them to buy drugs or alcohol. I forbid that. I don't do drugs and alcohol. I don't want to be around drugs and alcohol. Something in that sense.
Yes, sir.
So, maybe, she's just didn't want alcohol in the house. How long was Tanner staying there for?
He was staying there for I'd say we had a relationship for 2 or 3 months off and on where he'd just kind of come in, and then they gave him a taxi ride one day, and then they said that he could come kind of stay with them at nighttime a little bit so he could get a job in the day. And they're just trying to help him, give him a place to stay at night so he could work in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what nice
after
people.
that, get back on his feet, and then he's going to go back to his parents or whatever. Give him a...
Interesting. So how long were you there at the house for?
I probably knew him for 2 years in total, and I probably stayed with them off and on for a year because I went out and drove taxis at their little faith taxi business.
Yeah.
So I take people to Walmart and give them groceries and help them out in the community and stuff like that. And then I'd go back and kind of hang out with them at nighttime, and we'd do a little barbecuing, drink a couple beers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, that was pretty much it.
Did how much did they pay you doing the taxi? What were they paying?
Usually they charge like $2.25 or 50 cents a mile. So basically, they'll go out and let people go where they want to go, and they just cover the fuel and give them like a little tip or whatever. Help them with groceries.
Okay. Did they have other people working for them besides you?
Yeah, they had one other guy that was working there, and then me and Stacy and Sarah. So there's like 4 total.
What was the other person's
Four
name?
total.
You know?
The other guy was I want to say it was another Hispanic guy that was my friend that they met during that time.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit.
We kind of hung out, and he had an SUV, and we drove around a little bit and talked, and he kind of stayed there like 1 or 2 nights, and then after that, he just kind of headed out.
You don't know his name?
Wait.
I want to say it was like, it wasn't Jesus, it was like...
Okay, so he's saying there was a Hispanic guy, but he can't remember the guy's name. I feel like this guy is being racist. What's he talking about? Jesus. Because as far as we know, he's wanted, Brandon Shurtliff's wanted, Adrian Lucian is wanted, and 2 others. Stacy and Sarah.
The guy was I want to say it was another Hispanic guy that was my friend that they met during that time.
My friend.
Yeah.
And we kind of hung out, and he had an SUV, and we drove around a little bit and talked, and he kind of stayed there like 1 or 2 nights, and then after that, he just kind of headed out.
You don't know his name?
I want to say it was like, it wasn't Jesus, it was like...
Right,
It
Cheryl?
was kind of like Caesar or Jesus, kind of like one of those names, but it started with a J.
But it wasn't Caesar, the guy that was in the car with you in that
It was Caesar or Jesus. It started with a J.
picture, right? Not him.
Right, because that was when that picture was taken. I only met him like 1 or 2 other times before that. Stacy took me over to his house, and we picked him up for a taxi ride, and we took him to like, I don't know, just one of his friends, and then came right back.
Oh, I mean,
And then we were all just chilling.
Oh, you were all just chilling.
So you're saying that this Tanner guy did it. He must have done this to Michael. Tanner had to do something. You're hearing or you know?
No, I don't think Tanner did anything like that. I just know that Tanner and Sarah got in a fight, and that's why she got charges in the first place, because she didn't handle the situation properly.
Okay, so going back to the couple weeks ago when authorities went to the Wander's house with a warrant for the property to dig up looking for Michael, what brought them there? Like, who said what? Who said what to bring them there? Did the detectives tell you?
I think that they said that the cadaver dogs, they brought dogs over there and it alerted, like on a scent trail or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was rumors that there was a little tricycle bike over there and a little shirt or something like that.
But why would
I wonder if that was the evidence that they were talking about that they recovered from the Wondra house. He said there was a little tricycle and a shirt. Oh, shit. If it's the Minecraft shirt that Michael was wearing when he went missing, then they know they did something. They just need to find him. He said a little shirt and a tricycle bike. Did Michael have a bike missing? Do we know?
He must have done this to Michael. Tanner had to do something. You're hearing or you know?
No, I don't think Tanner did anything like that. I just know that Tanner and Sarah got in a fight, and that's why she got charges in the first place, because she didn't handle the situation properly.
Okay. So going back to the couple weeks ago when authorities went to the Wander's house with a warrant for the property to dig up looking for Michael, what brought them there? Like, who said what? Who said what to bring them there? Did the detectives tell you?
I think that they said that the cadaver dogs, they brought dogs over there and it alerted, like on a scent trail or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was rumors that there was a little tricycle bike over there and a little shirt or something like that.
But why would people spread rumors? Are you thinking they were just trying to pin it on them?
Possibly. Yeah, I think that they were, I don't know.
Yeah, because it is interesting, and I'm so dumbfounded on this because we all want answers. Everybody wants answers, right? Everyone wants the truth. Right. And I appreciate you telling me because, believe it or not, me digging in on you, I'm thinking, okay, this Brandon guy is involved because Sarah got arrested. But at the same time, people are like, well, Sarah's like kind of crazy, right? She's kind of mentally ill, and she could just been rambling, hey, I buried the body, when it's not true.
Yeah, and even if there was any bit of a slight suspicion or whatever that happened, I'm glad that they went there and looked because that would be a way to find more clues to what is going on.
Yeah, because you told me you don't think Sarah or Stacy did this.
I don't think that they're capable of doing it because they're just kind of like normal people that just have little businesses trying to get money, just barely scraping to get by. They don't,
And okay, so what does that... Okay, so he said, you don't think they did this. And he's like, no, because they're barely getting by. What does that have to do with them doing something? Because I think that they hit Michael with the car. I think it's possible that it was an accident and these people are running drugs and that's why they hit it. And they hit his body. And now they're all keeping this hush-hush secret because there's all these other crimes layering these people. That's what I think. I think it was an accident, and I think they tried to cover it up. Because if they did find a shirt there, which we can only guess that he's, being honest about some of this information. We don't know. I mean, he's guzzling beer after beer. He could be drinking truth serum, or he could be drinking liar serum.
Like, what the fuck is this? And everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
And then, okay, like what other business they got? They got the taxi business. What else?
And then they have an oil change business. So they started Wandra's Lube, and that's what came up on the Google when you Googled it.
Yeah.
Wandra's Lube. He says it's an oil change business.
Jeepers.
Wandra's Lube.
McNo.
And Faith Taxi. Are you buying it? Are you buying that these were legitimate businesses? Put a 1 in chat if you think they were running legit businesses. Put a 2 in chat if you think they were doing some sick shit. Wandra. I can't.
Barely scraping to get by. They don't,
And then, okay, like what other business they got? They got the taxi business. What else?
And then they have an oil change business. So they started Wandra's Lube, and that's what came up on the Google when you Googled it.
Yeah.
And then that is why I was there at all ever for any reason is to help them with their oil change business because I did that before and I'm good at it.
Where would they do the oil change at? At their house there or another location?
I was there to help them with the oil change business because I'm good at it.
Location.
They had a little shop over there in Ontario, Oregon, where they did oil changes. They were renting it out.
So up to the arrest where she got arrested in April this year, was that business still running?
It was starting to slowly decrease because it was going good, and then one day Stacy had an argument with the owner and his daughter over a shop vac, if you can believe it or not. And they were sitting there just doing that, and he said, if you're going to treat my daughter and talk to her like that over just a shop vac, then I'm going to go ahead and not rent this to you guys anymore. You know what I mean? And you haven't paid me for a little bit anyway, so.
Wait. The The owner, Stacy Wondra, got into a fight with the owner he was renting a little shop from for Wandra's Lube about the owner's daughter. Ugh.
He had an argument with the owner and his daughter over a shop vac, if you can believe it or not. And they were sitting there just doing that. And he said, if you're going to treat my daughter and talk to her like that over just a shop vac, then I'm going to go ahead and not rent this to you guys anymore. You know what I mean? And you haven't paid me for a little bit anyway, so
throw up the shop vacs in chat.
Your contract has been terminated.
Interesting. Yeah.
Your contract has been
So what about the taxi business? Was that still functioning up to when she got arrested?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Yeah, I was still functioning, and it'd still be going today if none of those charges would have happened with her and Tanner. That's what set it off.
So she gets charged with arrested for fighting with Tanner. Does she get bond?
Yeah.
Does she just get released?
I think they gave her bond. They gave her bond for a little bit, and then they let her out on a preliminary hearing kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're waiting to determine if any more evidence comes up, if she really did like try to smack him with a dog bone, or if she tried to threaten him with a gun, or if that was true, or if it was just hearsay.
So he's accusing her of hitting her with a dog bone?
Yeah, he said that she smacked her with a dog bone and said, get out of my house right now or I'm calling the cops. And that's what started everything. And then right when that happened, me and her got in an argument as well, and I got my little van and I left and went home.
So you never went back after that?
Right. After that, I went back one time, and then I went back there and was hanging out with another friend. His name was Randy, and he was from North Carolina, and he got in a crash with his motorhome. So they were trying to help him with that.
Randy?
With the taxi, by giving him a ride to do the repairs on his pickup. They got totaled from the crash, and then from there, that's when that kind of went sideways. And I went back there once, and me and him were trying to do the taxi by ourselves, but then Stacy got involved and got in with a new phone and tried to run the show in the company.
With a new phone?
And then me and Stacy got in arguments about who could drive the car, who couldn't, who could work, who couldn't. And it just became a big nightmare from there.
Interesting. Did they bring in like, it seems like they're just bringing people in because they want to help them.
Yes.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. That was one of the biggest questions that was on my mind too. It's just like they were trying to, they said that they kind of did it for God, or they did it for the church, and they want to give people a place to sleep at night so they don't have to be homeless, you know?
Yeah. Was Stacy religious?
He pretended to be, but he wasn't as, like, he believes in God, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't believe in like all the religious practices like most of the people.
Yeah.
But they went to church, and they paid tithes and tried to help people and got money from the church to pay their bills, and they were with the church, you know.
So wait a minute. Look at JLR's face. He's like, wait a minute. What do you mean they're tithing? They're tithing, but the church is paying their bills? Okay.
Listen.
No, you don't run the place.
Guess what? I do today. I do today.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Interesting. Well, see, because people are saying about Sarah, right? Because they're saying right after Michael Vaughan went missing, then she starts making all these religious posts, like within a month after he went missing. And people are suspecting, is she trying to repent? Does she have a guilty conscience? Is she trying to deflect and try to thwart off anyone that's investigating her to act like she's religious? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, I know that they always kind of like hid behind it, or they went with those kind of things. Like the whole time I was there, they just say, oh, we believe in God, and God tells me what we should do for the day and how to help people, and we believe in doing good to the community, and it'll come back around, kind of like a good karma thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, they were kind of like good charity people. So I don't know why they would go from that to getting caught with guns and then trying to run off with the story that definitely didn't happen in front of my eyes, or else I would have reported it too, you know?
Yeah. So
that's why it's questioning to me.
And that's why I'm asking you questions, because maybe you have the clues or the idea, but you're saying that they couldn't have done it. Now, let's go back to that day Michael went missing, right? So
Yeah.
that morning, where were you all at on July 27th, 2021, the day Michael was reported missing? Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house. And we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughan, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out, So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And
what time was that?
That was earlier in the day, after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee. And then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so, because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere, by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian, and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that previously earlier. And then
a car crash scene? Wait, what? I never noticed he said that before.
What?
You know how I said I think little Michael was hit by a car? Some rando that was there, I bet you. And then he got in Sarah's little car and they went looking for the kid. For the kid. Afro Adrian. Car crash. What the hell? Oh, shit. This has drugs written all over it. Let's listen to that part again.
Just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian, and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music.
Always the
kind of
same
like a car
thing.
crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's where we dropped him off there.
Okay. Could this be the problem? It's this dude, Sarah, and this other Adrian. Even though they're looking for Adrian Lucian, right, to talk to about Michael, it's a different Adrian. Are all in the car and they go to Applebee's. So these three are together, right? We have these two on the run, right? And then we have Sarah holed up at home with Stacy. So Sarah gets arrested. But then she's found not competent. Could that be why no charges have come across get. Is that why? Could they have been running drugs with their taxi business, hit Michael because he got out of the house? The neighbor said they saw him in the street. Could they have saw him in the street just moments before he was hit by a car? And did they put Michael in the car, didn't know what to do with him, buried him in the yard, then moved him up to this dude's mom's, and then moved him again? There's truth in the lies. There's truth in the lies.
Off there, after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the Popeyes restaurant.
Who bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or
He just said fucking, look at, he's like, oops. I said Popeyes. It's Applebee's. He knows exactly where little Michael Vaughan is. He knows exactly where that little boy is. We went to Applebee's. Now it's Popeyes. Oops.
He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere, by the Karcher Mall.
who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different
Danny
guy.
the nanny?
Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind
I went
of
a little too far,
or
but
marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the Popeyes restaurant.
Who bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or who paid?
Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her, but he said, my family's here, I want to see him, so I'm going to go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them, or lunch with them real quick, and then give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you guys come back and get me.
he covered it up.
So we did that, and in the meantime, me and Sarah were bored just kind of driving around the mall, and we didn't know what to do, so I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
Yeah.
What?
And then,
Wait. Okay, this asshole, that's when they took the body to his house. I guarantee it.
Okay.
He went all the way to his house to get a bottle of water because he doesn't like their water. Now this dude's a water connoisseur. He only drinks Fiji. Fuck this dude. He needs to come forward and talk. He needs to tell the fucking truth of what he knows. This is bull crap.
meantime, me and Sarah were bored just kind of driving around the mall.
Oh, yeah.
And we didn't know what to do, so I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
Yeah.
And then during that time,
everybody does that.
After that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house where they do their taxi business.
All right. So where was Stacy during all of this?
He was back at the house.
So Stacy said, you think Stacy stayed home all that day? Stayed home?
We left him there at the house. I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was any?
Yeah. Okay. So Potato kind of made a YouTube video. Either you did or you didn't. I'm going to say you didn't. I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that they hit Michael Vaughan. There's damage to the vehicle, and they're lying and trying to play it off like it was for a YouTube video because they probably videoed something, and they have probably video footage of their vehicle crashed. There's got to be some kind of intel that shows damage to a vehicle because he's trying to cover up by saying they were doing a YouTube video about a car crash. Like they were reenacting a car crash. That would like explain the damage to the car in like a dumbass's way. If you were a dumbass, that might be, you know, your explanation. If you're a dumbass. Paul Clank, thank you for your super chat. Me and Sarah were bored. Me was bored. Sarah was bored. Thank you for your super chat, Paul. This is what happens when a dumbass is lying.
Anyone else there with them?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone at that point. And that was before we went to tow.
And they had dogs and cats there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacy's there. You guys go out.
Stacy stays
home. What was
home.
Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there,
see that?
We go
iPad.
back and then
iPad. Here we go. Evidence. iPad. We were taking pictures, goofing off, making a YouTube video. Like we were gonna make a YouTube video, but then we didn't. And then we didn't. I can't with this dude's teeth either. Like I want to punch him right in his
house.
Teeth.
I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was anyone else there with him?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone at that point. And that was before we went to tow.
Oh,
and they
maybe
had
they towed
dogs and cats there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacy's there. You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off.
Taking pictures of
from
who?
There, we go back.
Who were they taking pictures of at the mall? If they were even at a mall. Macy's. Can you see this scrub in Macy's? Dude, Macy's shoppers would probably tackle his ass. Get the fuck out of here.
And then it just, that's how it goes.
Well, what about the afternoon from the mall to you going back to the neighborhood? Did you guys go anywhere else? Stop anywhere else?
We just went over to a pawn shop, I think. Just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit.
Thank you so much. Mike Sanner just gifted a membership, and Looking Beyond was the recipient. Woo, 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 woo. Can we get a turkey for that one? Thank you so much, Mike, for donating a membership to the channel. That's so generous of you. You're such a channel donator. Thanks so much. And welcome, Looking.
And then I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad, I think.
That's
Oh, shit! It gets better. It gets better. So they took the fucking iPad to the pawn shop, right? Or did he pawn the iPad and get a new one? Did he pawn the iPad with the pictures? Did he pawn the iPad that placed them at certain places? And get a new one thinking, oh, we've got a clean one. Inquiring minds want to know.
Adrian, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
I think the towing is transporting something. Because all of a sudden they're towing like it was a taxi business for people and a lube business for oil changes. Now we're somehow towing cars. Like, I have no idea where towing cars came in to lube and taxis. If someone can please tell me.
And then I think he bought one there. We went to the pawn shop, bought an iPad, and then came back and we were just chilling.
So what car were you guys all in?
We were in that little Toyota 2016 Toyota Corolla.
Is it white?
Okay. What is that? What color is it? White?
It's the blue one.
A blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling me that they were towing your car. You told me earlier in another conversation that your car was being towed by their truck that day.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
His car.
So where's that coming?
Where's his car?
I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Someone just said something in chat that just...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
A Hispanic guy from North Carolina. His name is Jose. Jose. Remember Summer Wells's Jose? Also had ties to North Carolina. What?
In the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord.
That's weird. That's just really weird.
Hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael?
Exactly, Birdie.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7.
Right at 7. What gas station?
There's the Chevron right there just up from their house.
Yeah. So where you were seeing people out there looking for Michael, or you were seeing police?
I was just seeing police cars cruising around, and I was seeing a lot of like the neighbors going out in their cars cruising around, and just like the whole subdivision from the left side to the right side. They were all just out, everybody walking around and looking, and flashlights. Search and rescue was there, police, everything.
But how did you know they were looking for Michael?
Because so when we were pulling into the subdivision, Sarah was driving the pickup, and she stopped and talked to the neighbor that was coming down the road the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped right there in the middle of the road, and they both opened their doors and they started talking to each other right there.
No, he didn't, Flo. Did he really?
And you told me you never seen Michael Vaughan before in your life prior.
Right. I never met him or his parents ever before. I just know that they're neighbors of where I was staying over there with the Wanderers. They live like diagonal.
Yeah. What about the okay. Yeah, I got so many questions. All right. So Adrian, where's he from?
I think he's from California somewhere.
So, but how did he get up there? Like, how did he end up there in Idaho?
He just flew in from California to come see his son and his old girlfriend or whatever.
But where did Sarah meet him? Like, how does she know him?
I don't know. I think he just randomly like called their phone one day from the airport and said, "Can you give me a ride from here to there or whatever?" And that's probably how those
the
two
milk.
Yeah, because obviously, Sarah, according to this arrest affidavit, she's claiming that this Adrian guy helped bury Michael in her yard. That's what she said, according to the arrest affidavits, or the neighbors. She also said the neighbor's yard too.
Right.
So people are wondering who's Adrian.
Yeah, he's just some kid that came here from California for a little bit to visit his son and his old girlfriend.
Did he get arrested at all?
No, he didn't get arrested or talked to or nothing.
So how long was he there at their house for?
He was only there for like a week up to 2 weeks, tops.
After Michael went missing?
After Michael went missing, I'm pretty sure he was there for like couple days after that as well.
Okay, so he was there about a week and a half prior to Michael being missing. Then Michael went missing, and then a couple days later, he goes back to California.
I think so, yeah.
Do you know where in California?
I have no idea.
You're in a hot tub. I see you're in a hot tub. What's that, the North Dakota life?
Yeah, that's North Dakota life, trying to stay warm out here right now.
Yeah. Interesting. So interesting. Now, did you know that, like, Stacy had, like, crazy criminal record in the past of being in the feds and locked up and all that kind of stuff? Did you know that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he talked to me previously before that, and he said that he got locked up for like a year or two because he lied on a federal application to buy a gun or something at a store.
So you seen him with guns. Like, why would he still have guns if he already got arrested for it? Did he just not care? Or?
I don't think Jose died.
I think that was it or something.
That's bullshit.
Because at first he said, hey, I know that you're not a felon and you can have guns. Do you want me to try to find you a gun? And I said, no, I already have a gun. I don't need to get another one, you know. But if you are selling that other little 17 or whatever, I'll buy it if I get money from you guys paying me from doing taxiing, you know. That was our first previous conversation.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wonder why he was so interested in you getting a gun, you know, like why.
Okay, so let's talk about the press conference I was telling you guys about earlier, that they put Michael's face on the side of a semi truck to go across country. And then he keeps talking about taxiing. If I was a dumbass like these people, would I maybe call the transporting of children taxiing? And then in Brandy's latest statement, which is what prompted me to even do this live, because I heard Brandy making a call for action for this dude to tell the truth and for law enforcement to stop covering for these criminals. I'm picking up what you're laying down, Birdie, and it's blowing my mind. There's so many similarities, like Potato said, to Summer's case and Michael's case. They look alike, the same age. Talking about religion. I don't think the morgue is going to give information on to anybody. I don't think you can do that. You can't just call the morgue and get information. I'm sorry, Flo. I love you, but I think you're wrong on this one. I don't think you can just call a morgue and get information on a dead person. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's not allowed. It's illegal. No, Birdie, you're not distracting me at all. This is nuts because I'm like unpacking all of this as we're watching it. You know, then you add the trip to California of Don and Candace, Dr. Phil. Wondra lived in Texas at one point. Yep. It makes me sick. Vulgar, I am with you, girl. I'm with you. The cops say he's deceased. They say that they think he's deceased and that his body's been moved around. So I don't know. I mean, the taxiing could definitely be drug running too. It definitely could be drug running. Right, Potato. There's things I didn't notice either. This interview is just so telling, you know, even though a lot of the shit he's saying is lies, but there's truth in the lies. because he's trying to cover his ass because he was committing other crimes.
Why does he want others to get a gun? Is he like fascinated with guns?
Right.
Yeah,
They're
I
straight
think he
edge.
comes from a background where like him and his grandpa used to hunt back in the day before he got in trouble. Like when he went out with other people that were responsible, he probably did some hunting.
So some people are saying that does Sarah have any kids that you knew of or had kids?
No, sir.
See, some people speculated that Michael, if Sarah is involved and she got arrested, but people are speculating, hey, maybe Sarah did it because she wanted a kid on her own because she couldn't have kids, or what do you think?
Hold on just a second here. I'm in an interview right now, so I'm gonna have to do this real quick. I think that she couldn't have kids because her husband Stacy said that he got his nuts crushed in a bull riding rodeo accident or whatever, blah blah blah. He said he used to bull ride and a bull stepped on his thing and crushed it, so he couldn't have him.
So he couldn't give her a child then.
Right, and he wanted a kid and she really didn't.
Oh, she didn't want a child.
No, she didn't really want to have a kid, but he was trying to push that on her.
So is it possible?
Hold on.
Okay, so
So this makes no sense, okay? He's talking about the Wondras. He's saying Stacy, the guy, the big fat piece of chewing gum or whatever you call him, wanted a baby with Sarah, but she didn't want one, but his nuts were smashed by a bull? So wait a minute. He was pressuring her for a baby even though he couldn't have kids. So what did he want Sarah to do? How was he going to... Did he want Sarah to abduct a child? They need to get all these motherfuckers in a room together. I agree. I agree. I'm speechless. I don't understand. Why is this guy just sitting in a hot tub and not being questioned? I don't understand what's going on with this investigation, but it makes me sick and it makes me feel it runs deeper, and I don't like that feeling. We've had all the child pee with Summer's case. I agree, birdies. You got to read between the lines. Yeah, exactly, Jammers. That's what they need to do. You're right.
With Sarah and you're with Adrian out or getting your car and bringing it back, is it possible Stacy was home left alone and did something and maybe like went out and snatched Michael? I mean, how do you guys know about Stacy's whereabouts at the time?
I personally don't. So I'm saying that could be a possibility.
Because there was no one else there with him, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
But you're saying that you were with Sarah all that day. You and Adrian and Sarah were all together throughout that whole day, starting in the morning. And you didn't she didn't go off on her own or do anything?
No, I was with Sarah that whole day and Adrian. And then Stacy was left home alone.
Stacy was left home alone. When you guys were out, what cars were there with Stacy?
I think he had his little Cadillac Escalade that he cruised around at that time.
Little Cadillac
what color
Escalade?
Was that?
It was a white one, an older one.
White. That
he traded his pickup in for. That when that pickup started to have a couple issues, instead of getting it fixed, he just traded it in.
So we have Wondra trading in a vehicle. Trading in a pickup. Oh, what if he had a red Toyota pickup? Then I would be completely done. But he said a white Escalade, and they said that a white vehicle, the white SUV or whatever, they were looking for that in the disappearance of Michael.
Yeah. See, because he's left alone.
And Stacy's by himself, apparently.
That he traded his pickup in for, that when that pickup started to have a couple issues, instead of getting it fixed, he just traded it in.
Yeah. See, you know, because he's left alone and no one else is there with him. I wonder if he ventured out. Yeah. Okay. For instance, when you.
And they have an Escalade, but the church is paying their freaking bills. Drug dealers.
You guys got back. Was he in the house?
Yeah, he was in there. He was in there on the couch, I'm pretty sure.
What was he doing?
Just watching TV.
Like he never even went anywhere.
Right.
The white vehicle's on the screen. It's
yeah, you know, because, you know, he's left alone. It seems like you three have it, you know, you guys are each other's alibis, I guess, you know, and you're saying you did whatever throughout the day. And I appreciate you talking to me. I mean, you know, like somebody that's would be guilty wouldn't be telling all this in a sense, you know, but, you know, people just want answers.
Yeah, and I want answers too. You know, I don't think Adrian did it, and I don't think Sarah did it. But Stacy, I know that sometimes he's lied to me and he's lied to others.
Trying to pin it on Stacy.
He says he'll do something and then he really don't do it. And I got after him about that, and I was trying to teach him that you're not supposed to do that in life, and then he'll get sometimes mad at me, you know. So that's where my trail kind of ends, and that's where I'm kind of curious in my own head.
With Stacy.
With Stacy, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch, and you know you thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusations. It's not true. I was just there to help.
Stacy was mad at him, so he's trying to pin it on Stacy because Stacy was mad at him and said that he was trying to get his girl. And look that's how he changed his looks. Look, he shaved his head and shaved his face. See that picture?
With Stacy.
With Stacy, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch, and you know you thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusations. It's not true. I was just there to help you guys work, make a business, and pay the bills. That was my whole objective.
So he was accusing you of trying to get with Sarah?
Yes, sir. Like every day.
Every day. But he didn't kick you out of the house?
Right, because she liked me a little bit because I was kind of the cool guy on the block, hanging out, trying to save the day. And he got a little bit jealous of it, and I wanted to kind of shut that down.
Why does his daughter that he's holding look like Harmony Montgomery? That was another one that never sat well with me either.
And say, hey, we're all friends. You keep your wife. You guys get along. And you guys stop doing that, kind of like a counselor or a mediator.
Was he ever did you ever see him do any violence?
No. He pretended to try to be a tough guy, try to do that kind of stuff, but he never did it when I was around.
He's a pretty big dude.
He's a heavy feller. He's like 450, 500 pounds.
So, I mean, if you see him walk, does he get tired when he walks a short distance?
I know. It's not Harmony. It looks like her, though.
So it's interesting. So because he's left alone, you guys are out. Michael Vaughan goes missing around, we'll say, 7 p.m. And, you know, what happened?
Now, Summer Wells went missing in June of 2021. Michael Vaughan went missing in July of 2021.
Where was Starkey? Where was Carson Starkey? I think.
Hi,
think
Nils.
He was
Hi, Jeff.
For another company at that time because he was mad at Sarah and Stacy because they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of bluff or a little bit of grief, and he was like, you know what, I can go work somewhere else or be part of somebody else. I don't have to sit here and take your guys' nonsense.
I can go work somewhere else or be a part of someone else. This guy's an ass. I want to know whose house that is, too. This gray house. Look at the house. Where is he? And who was he talking to when he said, I'm doing an interview right now?
And, you know,
dirt
what
bags.
Where was Starkey? Where was Carson Starkey?
I think he was driving for another company at that time because he was mad at Sarah and Stacy because they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of bluff or a little bit of grief, and he was like, you know what, I can go work somewhere else or be part of somebody else. I don't have to sit here and take your guys' nonsense.
So, interesting. What about the Cesar Garudo? What's the deal with him? Is he involved? Could he be
Cesar
involved with the
Garudo.
around their
This sounds
house?
like drugs.
I know that he went to their house like one time. Other than that, me and Stacy went to his house one time.
Drugs.
And he had a couple other friends over there, and they were just kind of
Hanging out.
Oh
yeah, hanging out,
with a
chilling
couple
and
other
hanging
people.
out.
But Cesar
Doing
was
drugs.
not around the house the time Michael went missing.
As best as I know, yeah, that's true.
Interesting. So you never seen Michael. Have you ever hear Sarah or Stacy talk about the Vaughns or mention the Vaughns or say anything?
Never once. Not even. The only time I heard them ever mention the Vaughns is when they stopped the car that day and they said, "Hey, there's somebody that's missing in the neighborhood. His name's Michael Vaughn. Do you guys know him or know where he went?" That was the first time that came up to my attention.
What? Who said that? Wait, who said that to them? And stopped the car. What?
Their house like one time. Other than that, me and Stacy went to his house one time, and he had a couple other friends over there, and they were just kind of hanging out and chilling with a couple other people.
But Cesar was not around the house the time Michael went missing.
As best as I know, yeah, that's true.
Interesting. So you never seen Michael. Have you ever hear Sarah or Stacy talk about the Vaughns or mention the Vaughns or say anything?
Never once. Not even. The only time I heard them ever mention the Vaughns is when they stopped the car that day and they said, "Hey, there's somebody that's missing in the neighborhood. His name's Michael Vaughn. Do you guys know him or know where he went?" That was the first time that came up to my attention. And then, as far as I know, they both said, no, we don't know where he's at. Let's go help look for him from that point.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so scatterbrained here because it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
It is. That's all it is right now at this point. Yeah.
But you're assuring, like, if the Vaughns were watching right now, what would you say to Michael Vaughn's family?
Good. I would say, don't lose hope. Keep your head up, keep your chin up, and know that he might still be out there somewhere because they never brought him into their house when I was there, not once. No little kids ever even came into that house, and I was there like a good majority of the time running a taxi business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I knew that was there, they seemed like they were all right, decent people that weren't trying to do that. They were just trying to have normal, everyday lives.
Weren't trying to do what?
So,
wait,
what's your family think about what's going on?
What is he talking about? Not trying to do what?
Once. No little kids ever even came into that house, and I was there like a good majority of the time running a taxi business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I knew that was there, they seemed like they were all right, decent people that weren't trying to do that. They were just trying to have normal, everyday lives, you know?
Okay, so he talks about little kids coming in that house. When I was there, no kids came in that house. But most of the people that were staying there were decent people. They didn't want anything to do with that. Oh, I'm going to throw up.
So, what's your family think about
this? Is dirty and bad.
Yeah, I told them. The police and the detectives and everything, they've been at my mom's house since I've been gone, doing like siding in Montana and stuff, trying to pay bills. And
siding in
they're
Montana?
Beside themselves and just scared and freaking out. Don't know what's happening, what's going on.
So he's skipping states.
Do you feel like the detectives think you're involved, or they just want to ask you more about the Wanderers? What is the detectives' reasons of coming to you?
I think they want to find out more about like the Wanderers and their lifestyle, of how they are and what they do. And I'm probably the best guy to ask because I was there around them the most at that time.
Did you feel detectives think you did something, or was it, were they hard on you in questioning? Were they making you feel like
hard on you?
Guilty of
Someone's
something?
hard on him.
Well, they were pretty stern, you know. They wanted to get to the bottom of it, and they kind of interrogated me, and they were pretty rough, and
they were pretty rough,
aggressive with it. And I said, "Listen, guys, I didn't do it at all. And if they're saying that this happened and that they did it, they know more about it than I did, because when I was around them, they didn't act that way. So they're like, okay.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
And then from there, it's just been kind of like, they hit me hard and I told them everything I know, and then it's been a stale fish, a standstill. And we're just trying to see like who all was even at that point in time in history.
So you're not nervous at all? Are you nervous about being arrested at all or anything?
Yeah, that definitely crosses my mind every day, you know, and I know
Every
that
day.
if I go back to Idaho, I'll be arrested immediately, and, you know, they're going to talk about me about my marijuana charges, probably do 20, 30 days in jail myself if I go back.
Marijuana, my ass.
And then from there.
So you have pending charges in Idaho?
Yeah, I have pending charges in Idaho just from probation and like possession
Loser.
of marijuana, and that's what I was in trouble with those guys for before.
I appreciate your honesty with that.
In trouble with those
Appreciate your
guys?
Yeah.
honesty. So you're not going to go back in there and try to settle it, or do you think they're going to extradite you, try to scoop you up
Hi,
there
Summer.
where you're at?
I think for now it's just a basis of I need to get back to work and get some money because I still owe them money on those charges.
Yeah.
So I kind of just came here trying to get to work because the other people I was working for, it was hard to get paid and pay all my bills on time. So I'm just trying to find a solution to make it peaceful for everyone and kind of find out what's going on here and get to the bottom of it. That's what's on my mind right now.
Did detectives ask you about any other names besides the Wanderers? They say any names?
The biggest names that are coming up right now on this is Stacy, Sarah, Adrian, that Garudo. Yeah, Caesar Garudo and me, and I think that's it from that very day.
No mention of Starkeys.
The Starkeys, I know that they had previous charges from stuff, whatever they did in their life before. I don't even know. But, yeah, they said that they went to their house and asked them. They asked Mr. Carson Starkey and his mother that was hanging out there. And they questioned Dorothy, his ex-wife, that she can't really hear that good. She has to write everything down on paper and what she heard or seen or knows or anything like that. So I know that they've been there. I know they dug up the yard, and it's a big case, big thing here.
So you've been so now you've been Googling around following this case?
Yeah, and yes, sir. And then I seen your YouTube that you put out this morning, you know what I mean? And my picture right next to those guys, and that's when it really started to hit home. And I was like, you know, I got to find everything I can do to help. I don't even care about me and my freedom anymore. I need to figure out what's going on.
Oh, that's why you're not going back to Idaho?
Lying and bring the truth to everything that I can.
Liar.
Help.
Yeah.
Liar.
Do you think, based off what you've been seeing, do you think any of the Vaughns are involved?
At first, my very first thought on all that, I thought, well, maybe just the mom and the dad got in a fight about custody, you know, because I got in a fight with my ex before about custody, and I know how that can go. So I thought it was just kind of like one of those things from the beginning, just who gets who, and maybe the dad came and got the kid and took him to his house, and the mom got all mad and called the cops, and that's what I thought it was from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then my second thought from there is that he might have went missing. He might have went out from his neighborhood because he was trying to go play with other kids like that, his age, and he might have got out in that field and went too far down. There's that Snake River right there by the Ontario-Idaho border right there. So I said, I hope he didn't fall in there and didn't know how to swim, or if he swam to the other side and got lost.
I hope they checked that Snake River for him.
You know? Because there's a million bazillion possibilities that could happen.
Bodies wash up in the Snake River all the time.
Inside the Wander house, what does it look like inside there?
It's just a regular, like, double wide kind of a trailer house. It's not a double wide, but it's a manufactured stick built home. Just a regular 1, 2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and a garage house.
Do they have a basement?
And they have a crawl space under there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there.
Red flag right here. How would he know that there's a crawl space off of Stacy and Sarah's bedroom. This has been sitting out on YouTube for 11 months. No arrests. What is going on here? I hate this.
In there and didn't know how to swim, or if he swam to the other side and got lost, or who found him, or what, because there's a million bazillion possibilities that could happen right here.
Yeah. Inside the Wander house, what does it look like inside there?
It's just a regular, like, double wide kind of a trailer house. Well, it's not a double wide, but it's a manufactured stick built home. Just a regular 1, 2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and a garage house.
Do they have a basement?
And they have a crawl space under there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there. And I know that was open one day, and I went in there and looked, and there was like some kind of one of their cats that got down in there and pissed everywhere.
Oh, really? Why were you looking down there?
Because it was open.
Oh, you were just seeing what it was.
What the fuck?
Bundy's a rumpkin. Bundy's a poop butt. Bundy's his mama's boy.
Everything on Stacy Wondra is sealed. He has federal charges, Stacy Wondra, that are sealed. You can't read any of Stacy Wondra's charges.
Yeah.
What about an attic?
No, the door was open, like they wanted their cats to go down in there or something. Or like that was another. I don't know. I went in their bedroom and looked to the right one day, and then that thing was open. Their basement crawl space door.
Where's it at in their bedroom? Under their bed? Is it noticeable? Is it hidden?
It's kind of, you go in their bedroom and then you go straight into their master bedroom. There's a shower on the left, and then right when you turn to the right, there's just like this little hatch door that opens.
But if someone just you could see the hatch from the wall, or you could tell something's there. I mean, is it hidden?
It's cut into the carpet, so it's like just a big piece of carpet with like a little square kind of cut out on two sides, and then it comes open.
Do they have a attic?
Hold on. Another similarity. Summer Wells, the hidden basement door. This shiz has carpet covering the little hatch door to hide it? Huh? What? Because that's normal. Most crawl spaces are covered by carpet. Is it a hatch door in the floor? And they just had it wide open. All these people need to be in the clinker.
Go into the clinker, the big house.
No, sir, I don't think they do.
Is their house? At the time you were there, was it all dirty, messy, clean?
For the most part, it was pretty messy.
I think I saw a photo of you sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main spot where I hung out, is just answered phones off the couch and went and drove taxis and went back to the couch, played PS4 and
He sat on the couch at the messy Wandra's house, taking calls on the phone and making taxi rides.
Time you were there, was it all dirty, messy, clean?
For the most part, it was pretty messy.
I think I saw a photo of you sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that's pretty much the main spot where I hung out, is just answered phones off the couch and went and drove taxis and went back to the couch, played PS4 and drank some beers and went to bed.
Who else was in that house that you've seen when you were there? Like anyone else that we haven't named that was inside that house ever?
I think there was like three or four people at least when I was there that came there. And this one guy, he got in trouble for like a BB gun and some knives or something like that. He went outside the house because him and another person other than Tanner got in a fight with Sarah about staying in the house and God and religion and all that. And he went cruising around the neighborhood and he had like some kind of a knife deal. And he was threatening that if he doesn't get to come back in the house, then he's going to like slice some people up or do this and that.
What's his name?
I'm not quite sure on that. It was just some guy that was kind of walking the streets of Ontario.
And they brought him to the house.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was like a homeless guy in Ontario that they met one day and they just brought him back to his house.
Interesting. It does seem like it goes into a pattern of them just bringing people off the streets, or, people just, they feel like they want to help and bringing strangers into their home.
Yeah. So if something did happen, it happened like that. You know what I mean? Just people that you don't even know who the hell they are or what they're doing or what their motives are. And they just bring them in like their family. You know what I mean?
What were they all like? Would you all eat dinner together? Who cooked? Like, did everybody fend for themselves?
No, Sarah. We'd go out shopping, Sarah and I, and then we'd come home and she'd cook a nice meal for Stacy and I and her and whoever was over there for a guest, That was the usual behavior.
Did Sarah use profanity?
She tried not to, but when she got really super mad, yes, sir, she was good at it.
What would she get mad about?
She'd just get mad about her house not being perfectly clean or things not being the way that she wanted them to be, and just a lot of OCD. She had a lot of OCD and things being just how she left them.
Would she get mad at others or mad at herself?
No, mad at others.
Because like Stacy would leave something out and she would get mad?
Yeah.
So right. So have you seen them arguing with each other?
Yeah, almost every day. She'd go around and he'd be making messes and she'd be cleaning it up and getting after him, trying to whap him with a pot and a pan, just like, you son of a bitch, clean your shit up or get gone.
So you've seen her hit him with pots and pans?
Get gone.
Well, she didn't actually hit him, but if I would have been her, hit him, because sometimes he makes messes and he just don't care and he's kind of like a little pig in a pig pen, just kind of really sloppy.
Did you ever see her actually hit him or him hit her?
No, they never did that when I was there. They were just like, they just talk back and forth, kind of getting like, oh, I love you, little Boo Bear. I love you, little Boo Bear. And they'd be back and forth. And they were just like jokesters, kidsters.
Did she actually try to hit on you, or is that true or no?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she liked me. She was trying to get at me pretty good there for a long time. And I said, hey, listen, you're married. You know what I mean? We can't even be on the same couch chilling together doing this and that. And I'm not going to give you and Stacy a kid. And I'm not going to do that. I'll help you guys do taxi. And other than that, I'm going home. And that's what made him mad.
What? I'm not going to give you and Stacy a kid? What?
I was there. They were just like, they just talk back and forth, kind of getting like, oh, I love you, little Boo Bear. I love you, little Boo Bear. And they'd be back and forth. And they were just like jokesters, kidsters.
Did she actually try to hit on you, or is that true or no?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she liked me. She was trying to get at me pretty good there for a long time. And I said, hey, listen, you're married. You know what I mean? We can't even be on the same couch chilling together doing this and that. And I'm not going to give you and Stacy a kid. And I'm not going to do that. I'll help you guys do taxi. And other than that, I'm going home. And that's what made him mad.
She actually said she wanted you to give them a kid.
Well, she said that before, and like when they were hanging out in Vegas, living in Vegas, that she said that she tried to do that with somebody else before, and they wanted to know if I'd be able to do that for them. And
What? Now we're in Vegas? Now the Wondras are in Vegas? They did this with someone before in Vegas, and they wanted him to do it. Carrie H., oh my gosh, we couldn't even begin to catch you up.
I said, yeah, probably not.
Interesting. What were they doing?
OMG.
She actually said she wanted you to give them a kid.
Well, she said that before, and like when they were hanging out in Vegas, living in Vegas, that she said that she tried to do that with somebody else before, and they wanted to know if I'd be able to do that for them. And I said, yeah, probably not.
Interesting. What were they doing in Vegas?
I think they just went over there and they had some friends or doing taxis over there.
I think Stacy might have a sister. Or
he's a freaking idiot. Idiot.
Going to the clinker, the big house.
They just go to any random city and just do taxiing. Is he fucking? Is it think people are stupid?
It's in the water. What the
or a relative that lives in Vegas. You know anything about that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
So
I know that.
No, go ahead.
I know that they went over there and they did like a long distance taxis. That's like how they made their best money, because instead of like hundreds of dollars, it goes to thousands of dollars.
Oh, what? Holy shit! This is loaded.
In the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord.
I'm shook right now, guys. I am absolutely shook. Hey, Rican Elite and friends. Thanks for listening, Rican.
Vegas, you know anything about that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
So
I know that.
No, go ahead.
I know that they went over there and they did like a long distance taxis. That's like how they made their best money, because instead of like hundreds of dollars, it goes to thousands of dollars. So that's how they make their better money traveling across country.
Yeah, because right after, okay, for one other question about you. So you done no sexual stuff with Sarah ever?
Well, at one time or another, we were just kind of like hanging out, laying on a mattress.
Oh!
She was trying to make out with me, this or that, and kind of like fill me up a little bit. And I said, whoa, 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 slow down. You're already married, you know? So from there, that was about the part.
Bleach my ears. Bleach my ears. Ew. Ew. He said she was feeling him up. Do you have breasts, Brandon? Ugh.
So she's doing this while she's playing the God card, religious card.
Right. Yeah. That's why I don't like religion. It puts a bad taste in my mouth and others. It's like you can't do stuff like that if you're going to pretend like you're holier than thou.
What else puts a bad taste in your mouth, brother?
You know?
Yeah. Now, do you know anything about their trip to Texas? In like
Texas
around,
too?
I guess, a couple months after Michael Vaughan went missing, they went to Texas.
No, sir. I know nothing about that recent. Now, I do recall them saying something about that previously, where Sarah lived in Texas with another man.
Okay.
Now, I don't know nothing about that, but
Remember Don, Candace, Benny, Tim Mullins, all were in Texas. I know Texas is a big ass state. Like Texas is its own country pretty much. So, I mean, I can't say that's a huge connection, but there's a lot of parallels.
I know it was kind of like not a good deal.
So it's my belief that Sarah was once married prior to Stacy.
Yes,
I believe it was to a last name of a guy named Chambers.
Yep, that might be him.
Ricky Chambers, I believe.
Yep, I think that sounds right.
So he does have ties to Texas and Arkansas and Oregon. So maybe that's why she was there. I don't know. Did she ever talk about her ex-husband?
She talked about him a couple times, about like how she wanted to get out of there, and then he got mad one time and kind of locked her in a room, and they were fighting way back in the day before I knew her. That's all I heard about it.
Sarah had a boyfriend or husband that would lock her in a room. Was Sarah trafficked? Was Sarah trafficked herself?
To stay at night so we could work in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What nice
after
people.
That,
Whoops, wrong video.
When and where did Stacy get married to, or Stacy and Sarah get married? Where? When and where?
I think they got married somewhere in Montana, and just like not too much. They were only married for a year or two before I met Stacy. And then after that, he was like, hey, you want to come to my house and hang out and bring the barbecuer in and meet my wife and we'll have a good time. Like I think his grandpa taught him and instilled like some family values into him. So Stacy's a good guy when he don't lie, but he's got some kind of fetal alcohol syndrome, which prevents him from being normal.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing.
So what month and year did you meet Stacy?
Good question.
I probably met him in like 2020 or 2019, something like that, a couple years back. And then I helped him with this. There was this other gentleman, his name was Labor Dave, and he had a lawn mowing business and a furniture moving business. And that's where we met, is when I was a U-Haul driver and I helped go around and move everybody's furniture, me and him.
What town was that in?
That was probably in like Boise, Idaho.
Okay, so you met him in Boise.
Yeah.
According to his court stuff, he got out of jail or prison or jail in May of 2020.
Yep. So right after he got out, just a little bit after he got out, that's when I met him. And I thought he was just a normal person, but comes to find out, the more you hang out with him every day, stuff started to get weird from there.
Like what weird?
Like just daily activities and daily behavior. He'd try to be a businessman, but he tried to take on more than he could. He tried to bite off more than he could chew. You know what I'm saying? So he'd try to say, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to buy this storage shed and we're going to move it all here. And then we'll resell it and we'll make good money and it'll be good for the family.
What?
You guys ready to go out and do that? And then when it came time to doing the work, you'd find just me and Sarah trying to scoop things up. And he'd be like, come on, guys. I can't walk around right now because my feet hurt because I'm overweight.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
He'd make you feel bad for the guy, and then you're like, well, shit, I'll give you a hand.
She said, we came home.
And then after that, you're just getting looped into one thing and another, and then it's just he just never stops being. He's ambitious, but he can't do that much because he's overweight. So
we came home.
I tried to get him skinnier, and I tried to say, hey, let's go out and get out of the house, get off the couch, quit eating chips. You're going to die soon. You're going to freaking die if you don't quit eating, man. You got to get some exercise or your heart's literally going to stop beating.
Yeah, meth will do that too.
You, dude. I feel you. I saw, what he looks like and whatnot. What is his habits? Like, what does he like to do for fun?
That's a good thing you bring up there. He likes to just watch TV and eat junk food and not really do a whole lot of nothing other than talk on the phone. Quit eating, man. You got to get some exercise or your heart's literally going to stop beating.
Yeah, I feel you, dude. I feel you. I saw, what he looks like and whatnot. What is his habits? Like, what does he like to do for fun?
Gross. This guy needs to be in the clinker.
Yeah. That's a good thing you bring up there. He likes to just watch TV and eat junk food and not really do a whole lot of nothing other than talk on the phone. That's that.
Talk on the phone to who?
Whoever he can find that'll listen to him.
She said,
interesting. Did he have an iPhone or an Android?
He had one of those iPhones, like iPhone 12, 13, 14. He always loved his little iPhone.
She said, we came home.
Do you know if he had AT&T, Verizon? What phone network did he say he had?
I think he was with Verizon when he started his new company, and then he went with those guys, and then the bill got up in excess of $15,000-$20,000.
Wow.
What?
And then from there, he couldn't pay it, and he said, oh, no, what do I do? Can you help me with my bills? And I said, well, sure. Let's look at the bill. How big is it? and you look at it and it's like 20 grand, and he's just on there buying like new little phones and this and that, and you know, he's always
On there buying new little phones.
and he said, "Oh no, what do I do? Can you help me with my bills?" And I said, "Well, sure. Let's look at the bill. How big is it?" And you look at it and it's like 20 grand, and he's just on there buying like new little phones and this and that, and you know, he's always taking on more than he can handle, and that was the biggest issue with me and Stacy.
Yeah. Did he ever talk about kids?
Not really. Not usually, no. That's why this strikes me as strange. The only time that happened is like once or twice during the whole 1 or 2 years that I was there, and he's like, you know, I'd like to have a kid for when I pass away, you know, because it'd make my wife happy. Just like you guys were saying on your video or whatever, that is true. It's confirmed.
So the videos that I've put out that you've seen, what is not true that you've seen that you noticed that with me covering this case, what is not true?
The only thing that like upset me or kind of got to me a little bit is the whole part about me and my Montana friends or whatever. That's Guthrie Builders, and he does a good job. He builds houses and does siding and stuff. And me and him are great friends. We have been for years. But
Guthrie Siding.
One day he got in a bad situation where someone was trying to take his life too, and he tried to steal one of my pickups that I owned. It was like a 01 Ford or something. And then from there, me and him got mad, but then we kind of put it behind us and we got past it a little bit. But now me and him are best friends, and we wish to build in the future and help the community out.
Oh, I'm sure.
I just didn't want something like that coming in between it all.
Understandable. And have you watched my other videos about covering this case?
I don't know. I just seen the one that you put out today, this morning or whatever, and I think it's pretty good. You do a pretty good job.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure.
I'm still suspect of you, but I still appreciate you speaking, and it puts more.
At least he's honest.
You got
with them.
nothing to hide, right? You got nothing to hide by sharing all this, because usually the experience with people have done things, unless you're psychotic and you just are guilty and you're just acting like you're not. And there's people out there like that, like Chris Watts. You know, there's other cases that, you know, he goes right in front of the cameras and says he didn't do it, whatever. But you're willing to talk. You're willing to share your side. And,
yes, sir.
You know, people will have a different perspective about this, because there's millions of people following this case.
Holy smokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can only imagine if someone would have took my kid, what it would have done to my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I have a kid of my own, and I only have one. She's 10. She's like 5 years older than him. And I got a nephew that's like the same age as him, 5 or 6. And this kid has the same birthday as me, June 24th.
Oh, wow.
Why does he know Michael's birthday? They have the same birthday? What? This is getting weirder and weirder.
So it's not just something that affects me a little bit. It affects me a lot every day, and I think about it, and I can't stop thinking about it. So it's like I need to tell who's lying and who's not. And I think that Stacy is a liar, and he just says stuff to attract attention because he wants to be the cool guy, and because he has a low self-esteem because he's a bigger guy. And, you know, I love Stacy, I love Sarah, but I'm not proud about what they've done and what they do. And you know,
I thought they had legit businesses.
Involved, they need to come forward, and if they're not, we need to find out who really did do this, because it's not just something little.
Well said, Brandon. I appreciate the conversation. Let's talk again in the future. I'm going to share what we discussed. I'm going to share this so people can get a perspective of your thoughts and what transpired that day. Maybe people will give feedback with questions, and then I'll be able to follow up with some questions that people ask. You know, I try to think of as many questions as I can ask you, you know what I mean? But I don't know all the questions, or I might have forgot questions, and there might be key points that I missed that someone else might have, you know?
I've got tons.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so, I understand.
And definitely, if you learn anything, definitely go to the police about it, you know?
Yeah. Right, and I will, because, you know, And it's not just like the whole thing of where I'm trying to pay off the police or the police are paying off me. It's just like a real thing that happened that day in that neighborhood, and they want to know what happened. I want to know what happened.
What? What is he talking about?
It's that I missed that someone else might have, you know?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
So,
I understand.
and definitely, if you learn anything or anything, definitely go to the police about it, you know?
Yeah. Right, and I will, because, you know, and it's not just like the whole thing of where I'm trying to pay off the police or the police are paying off me. It's just like a real thing that happened that day in that neighborhood, and they want to know what happened. I want to know what happened. You want to know what happened. My whole family. And it's just like, if you guys know something you're not telling me, tell me now. Or, you know, we just want answers.
Yeah. Did you see the Vaughns out there looking for Michael that day he went missing? Did you see?
I think they went out there earlier, but me personally, I've never met him still to this day.
Yeah. All right, brother. Stay safe. Thanks for the conversation. We'll talk again soon.
Okay. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Brandon.
So there you have it, everyone. Brandon.
I'm shook. Let's see this next one from JLR. This is a short one about his looks changing.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the Michael Vaughan case out of Fruitland, Idaho. Michael Vaughan has been missing since July 27th.
This is okay. So JLR interviewed him 11 months ago. This is 10 months ago. So a month after he interviewed douchebag in the hot tub, this is a month later. He's changed his looks.
2021, where is Michael Vaughan? Let's talk about Brandon Shurtliff. Brandon Shurtliff is currently wanted by the Fruitland police. They want to speak to Brandon. Brandon Shurtliff is an associate of Stacy and Sarah Wandra. Brandon Shurtliff actually gave me an interview last week, spoke to me for about 45 minutes, and talked to me about the Michael Vaughan case. Authorities are looking for him now. They want to speak to him. I don't know if they want to arrest him, but he is wanted by the Fruitland Police Department in connection with the disappearance of Michael Vaughan, another individual named Adrian from Ohio. He is also wanted by the Fruitland Police. Where is Brandon? But it seems like Brandon could have changed his appearance. It looks like he possibly changed the way he looks. And I'm going to share with you what someone is posting on a Facebook post about Brandon. So the Facebook page, North Dakota Lost and Missing, put out a post. Brandon Shurtliff may have changed his appearance from the picture law enforcement released at the press conference today. The most recent photo he posted of himself on Facebook looks drastically different. This photo may not be a recent photo, but it is a photo Brandon has recently posted. It's better to have multiple photos just in case he has changed his appearance. Please keep your eyes out and contact authorities if you have any information on the whereabouts of Brandon Shurtliff. And they posted pictures of Brandon, but this one here, they're claiming Brandon posted recently on his Facebook. Looks a lot different than his other posts and his other pictures. Shaved head. So if this is a new photo of him, definitely changed his appearance.
Big time.
Definitely changed his appearance. So it looks like Brandon shaved his head, possibly. New photo that he put on his Facebook page. Some people are saying he deleted his Facebook page. Where is Brandon? If Brandon is out there, he should turn himself in. If you see Brandon or know about Brandon's whereabouts, please contact the police and notify them. Seems like Brandon is somewhere in the state of North Dakota, possibly, according to Fruitland Police, who announced that today. Where is Brandon? He needs to cooperate and turn himself in. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification.
Okay, so that was 10 months ago, and the interview was a week prior to this. You know, and I have to say, JLR puts out a lot of content. I don't see it all. I don't see it all, but he also has this video.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. We all heard the news about Adventures with Purpose founder
I don't know
Jared
how I
Isaac
missed this.
being recently charged with bad acts on minors in Utah. And recently, his co-worker, Douglas Bishop, the man you see with Jared on lots of these videos with the big beard, he made a video saying that he did not know what Jared did and he's going to evaluate the situation. He said there's a lot of legal things going on in contracts. Douglas Bishop. Who is Douglas Bishop? Well, he is married to a female named Fabiola Bishop. Her maiden name was Fabiola Teal, originally from Virginia. In Fairfax County, Virginia, she was arrested in the past for cruelty to animals. So, Douglas Bishop, his wife Fabiola, was arrested and charged around 2010 in Fairfax County, Virginia with cruelty to animals. Look it up, people. It's there. It's there. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing that someone did cruelty to animals? Dogs, cats?
Wow. He has a lot of exposés, guys. A lot of exposés. But one more thing I wanted to play that was new. Is this is what Brandy, Michael's mom, we're back to Michael. I don't want to talk about AWP because Jared's a child molester and I don't do child molesters. So I want to share Brandy's.
Quit lying, quit hiding.
This is what she put out to Brandon Shurtliff, along with a probable cause affidavit. Shurtliff.
Interesting. Yeah. Man, I'm so scatterbrained here because it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
That's all it is right now at this point, yeah.
But your story, like if the Vaughns were watching right now, what would you say to Michael Vaughn's family?
I would say don't lose hope. Keep your head up, keep your chin up, and know that he might still be out there somewhere because they never brought him into their house when I was there, not once. No little kids ever even came into that house, and I was there like a good majority of the time running the taxi business. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They lives, you know?
So.
And Monkey's mom, Brandy, has a message for Brandon.
819 days. And Brandon, you know what happened to our beautiful baby. Whether you were directly involved, but you know. You need to start talking. You need to come forward. Quit lying, quit hiding. Please, tell us where Michael is. Let our family have some rest, please. Let us bring our baby home. We've worked tirelessly, endlessly. Law enforcement, stop protecting these criminals. It's time to tell the truth. It's time to own up. It's time to find Michael and bring him home and stop your BS. Same with you, Adrian, because I know you're watching as well. 819 days. And Brandon, you know.
What do you guys think of that? She's saying, law enforcement, stop protecting these criminals. It's time to tell the truth. What truth isn't being told, you guys? What do you guys think? You guys are going to have to let me know if you're replaying this as well. Please keep the conversation going in the comment section. I want to know what you guys think of all this information. Miss Elaine, I wouldn't trust this guy with my cat. I wouldn't trust any of these people with my cat. But there's a lot to this case, and it feels like it's at a standstill. And I just want to know what you guys think about this guy. Where is he? Where is he? Stacy Wondra is still locked up with all his charges sealed. Stacy wasn't mentally competent. Who was really running these businesses? Who was really running the show? Was it Brandon? And this Adrian? I mean, we have Adrian from Ohio, Brandon's in North Dakota, and the Wondras stayed put. They didn't run. Right? It's weird. Really, really weird and scary and disgusting. And I just hope that there can be answers for little Michael, because none of this sounds good. None of it sounds good. Yeah, Ann Pulley, the long distance taxi service. Very concerning. All right, you guys, I am going to end this Friday live because we went 2.5 hours on this. And I know I promised some of your videos, but I haven't been able to go through them all. So I'll have those ready for Monday. I just needed a little more time. But thank you. Keep sending the videos. Keep emailing the videos. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for your super chats today. Thank you, everyone, for the memberships, donating memberships, everything, and just being here. And I know not everybody can super chat or become a member, but just liking and commenting gets this in everybody's feed better in a quicker way. So I appreciate your support. You guys have a great Friday. And I have a special Sunday night video for you guys that I'm going to be releasing. And it's to kick off the start of Caitlin Armstrong's trial on Monday. So Caitlin Armstrong, the chickie that went to Costa Rica and got a nose job and did yoga. Yeah, she's starting her trial next week, and we can hear opening statements, closing statements, and the verdict. That's the only thing the judge is allowing cameras in the courtroom for. So hopefully there'll be a pool camera there and we can watch it. But I'm going to have a nice video for you guys Sunday evening. So make sure you are subscribed and click the notification bell for all. And when I get that uploaded, you will get a notification and I will see you in the chat room. So if I didn't say it already, please stay safe, take care of each other and yourselves always. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next live.
Camper.
Because
you're a liar.
You know Don's full of shit.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out.
Yikes. And niggas wife me once they get that good punani.
You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling different.
God almighty.
Making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Cadillacs, my new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never.
Is it one Jennifer or two Jennifer?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.
Listen.
No, you don't run the place.
Guess
yet.
what? I do today. I do today.